morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm tired. Oh my gosh, folks. We are this time last week. We were in our 4ME conference, and man, I am trying to search for some energy, something. I am dog tired as best as I can. Give me 1 second to verify sound real quick. Good morning. All right, I hear audio perfectly fine. I don't hear echo. I hope y'all are all doing well. Again, AJ, the CEO here. We try and come to you every Friday as best as we possibly can to answer your media ministry questions, folks. I don't know everything, but hopefully the little bit I do know makes your journey a little bit easier, or I can point you to an outstanding community where they have the same focus and passion that we have, and maybe they can answer a question for you. Again, my apologies. I am really forcing myself right now because energy is escaping me for whatever reason, and it's kind of hard for me to, I don't know. I am dragging horribly right now, but we are here. We stay dedicated to what we're doing until the mission changes, or we got new directives. But let's holler at some folks here. Anthony, hey, good morning to you. Parker, hello. Phil Joe, good morning. Candace, hello. Tamara, how are you doing? Francisco, buenos dias. Monty, what is going on, sir? Hey, and if y'all have not seen it, Monty dropped an excellent video just breaking down some of his sessions and the whole scope and mindset on why we do the conference. I highly recommend you go and check that out. Timothy, hello. Creative for fun, great job. Phyllis, great job on your presentation. Again, good morning to you. What else we got out here? Hollis, hello. Dr. Christina, I will get to you. Brian Jones, hello, sir. Thank you again for presenting as well. Mr. Clarence, how you doing, sir? We missed you. I hope you had a great weekend. Jeffrey, good morning from Memphis. I'm so sorry. Christ First United Methodist, hello. Ty, how are you doing? And hyphen name, hello. So, folks, let me get the formalities out of the way so we can move forward with all this wonderful stuff. So again, everything that we do here, we're self-funded. My company, my YouTube, and great people like who are following, who are Patreon supporters or YouTube members, help us do what we do. But if you like what we do, you could always go to emissionarygear.com, get some merch, and all of the funds that go to that help out with everything that we do here on this channel. And I completely forgot to post a picture here. All right, I got it. There. So if you want to do that, you don't want to hit the join button for a YouTube member or go to Patreon, getting any gear from eMissionary Gear will help out our channel greatly. Also, folks, let me use this platform to shout out your media ministry team. We're doing a lot of stuff for our ministries. And honestly, sometimes the media ministry is the last one to be thanked in any way, shape, or form. So let me use this platform to shout out your team. Send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com. Make the subject my media team. Send me a picture of your media team. Tell me where you're located, your ministry's name, and just the first names of all your team if you would like, so I can give them their flowers and thank them and promote them and just congratulate and appreciate them as best as I possibly can here. And now that the conference is over, I can get back into doing church live stream reviews. Email me a link to your stream at questions@ajhomes.com. Make it the subject, review my live stream. Make sure that you have permission to stop any copyright claims or strikes when I use your stuff. And that's about it. And like I said, folks, we are just wrapping up from the 3rd annual eMissionary Conference, but the work does not stop. Surprisingly, it does not stop. So go to 4meconference.com and you can sign up for the 4th annual eMissionary Conference waitlist. When we get more details, it is going to be hybrid. That's the whole point going forward. We will have an in-person component. We will have a live streaming component. We learned a lot. When I get some more energy, I'm actually going to do a debrief of everything. And we might even talk about it on here, about my thoughts about the conference and everything like that. I think it went great. I'm just tired from that, but I think I've already said that, and you can probably see it in my face. But if you go to 4meconference.com, and actually, let me do it right now because I think I only got one more slide to do, and then I'll come back to this. Wait for the page to load. All right, if you go there, the website has been updated to the 4th annual eMissionary Conference. Join the wait list so that you can get notified for all the stuff. We also have some roles. This is what we've learned from this conference. I have greatly learned from this conference. So you can submit your information and select your roles here. I will not spam you or nothing like that. It comes directly to me. It goes in my database. And when we start getting information, we will send that out. But you can select your role as in you want to attend online, in person, become a teacher online, a teacher in person, support online, or support in person, or you're undecided. Please select that, and then you'll be categorized in my database like that. And then when we get more information, it will go from there. Also, anybody else, please let me know if you have any issues. But if you have attended online or in person, you can go here to our replays, and every single session except for my On a Mission for the Great Commission video on Saturday is posted. All of the replays of every session is here. Please do not, everything has been uploaded to YouTube as well too, so you can't upload any of that stuff. It'll flag it and say that, hey, you're using some other content, so just be aware of that. So like here, even in the Bible trivia, we got all of that and stuff like this. All of it is accessible from the conference. All of these videos and everything will be released to YouTube, maybe. Still trying to decide. I don't know if I'm going to do the end of the year or maybe January. That's when I want to do it because there's a lot of good information. I want to release it, but I want it to be fair for the people who actually attended the conference. I don't want it to be like, oh, if I just don't attend the conference and just wait a week, I can get all the information for free. I don't want to do it like that. I want to appreciate and cherish the fact of all the people who were able to do and attend. Now, the last thing I will say, folks, didn't hit it the way I wanted to, but we're close. So we are 186 subs away from 70,000 subscribers. I'm excited about that. And then we are pushing towards 100,000. So really looking forward towards that. But enough of that stuff. Let me holler at some more folks. David, hello from Nashville. So folks, when we get started now, just know, please start all of your comments with a Q. It makes it jump out to me. Very easy for me to see. If me and you go, and if you're not able to get your question, know that you can email me a question to AJholmes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond to you. But if me and you keep going back and forth with 3 or 4 emails, I highly recommend you just go ahead and set up a consultation. Go to AJholmes.com/consultations. And we can do Zoom, phone call, Google Meet, Zoom, in person, on sites, teleport, holodeck. We got it all. So we can help y'all out. And I think that's about it. And if you want to continue doing this thing, folks, make sure that you go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and you're going to be associated with over 3,700 media ministries from all over the world with the sole purpose of trying to educate each other so we can move forward. It ain't about sharing your sermon. Ain't nothing like that. That is not the place for this platform. You live stream inside the group, you get kicked out. It is about a knowledge base and working with other folks to move forward. So Fresh Start, and my mouse is all over the place. Fresh Start Church of Philadelphia. Good morning to you. Hey, you are welcome. And Teresa Hooper, good morning to you. So I'm actually going to see if I can do this a little bit differently today while we're waiting for some questions. For the people who were in attendance in person or online, what did you get out of the conference? Put that in the comments, and I want to go through that. So I'm going to do this in reverse. I'm actually going to do a small debrief, and we'll go into the Q&As just to give some more time for people to answer some questions. So what did I learn, my debrief from this conference? Obviously, I need a massive amount of team, support team to help what's going on. Even though this conference was planned out 9 months in advance, for whatever reason, it seemed like I'm talking about folks local. It didn't seem like they understood that, and I need to get some dedicated folks locked into certain roles. Now, the difficulty with running a conference is it's literally like a full-time job or even a part-time job, but the only thing is, without making the tickets astronomically high, which I'm trying to avoid doing at all costs, expecting a lot of people to do a part-time job without pay, it is very few to none who are willing to do that. And I'm not going to ask anybody to do that. So that's the reason why I did a lot of the stuff myself. But I need to figure out a way to either grow my channel, grow my business in a way to where I can actually compensate and hire people to do the stuff. In my mindset, need registration folks, need dedicated media people to run presentations, run the cameras, get different angles, the same stuff that we do at church services, to make the conference and the sessions more interactive and not lean on the presenters to have to do everything. That's one other thing. Tech support as well. Just HR. I want to also have another team of people that are kind of doing what Monty did. Monty, I don't know how in the world you were able to do that. I congratulate you, sir. To be able to have another team of people that are just dedicated in documenting the entire conference so that we can get footage and all this other stuff. The same stuff that I recommend that you do at churches, that's some of the deep dive I have. I'll just say Antioch, if we ever decided to use that location again, really having a come to Jesus moment and really explain the benefits of fully upgrading all of the rooms so that we have cameras in the rooms. The AC is a lot more reliable upstairs, but to really add all of the technology that would make this beneficial to everybody. That's one other thing that I would do. But let me see. I haven't seen that many comments pop up yet. But that's what I would think. Let me make sure. Am I still going on? All right. So a couple of things I see. Christ First United Methodist Church said, lots of ideas to incorporate into our media broadcast. That's what they got. Awesome from that. I don't know why all of a sudden now I'm feeling ingested or whatever. But anyway. Let's see. What else we got? Kind of waiting for some other stuff here. And then Creative for Fun was saying, yes, Monty did an awesome job. Yes, he did. And it was good to meet you, sir. So awesome, folks. But like I said, what do y'all think? For the people who were in attendance or online, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What did y'all think? Got some more stuff that popped up here, and I'm going to get to name one. So how do I view recordings from the conference? I used the promo code to gain initial access, but didn't have access during the conference. Email me, because I went through and everybody had it. If you didn't have that, email me, and I didn't see. I had set up everybody to have access. I don't see anybody that was missing anything. email me at info@4meconference.com and the email that you use to register, and I'll see. You should be able to get that once you log in. You should see replays up under there, just like I showed, and you should be able to get under there. Let me know if anybody had any issues getting in. Please email. That was the reason why I wanted to also have some other folks there to be able to see everything and help if there was any issues. If you are a part of a group, I need your email address because groups didn't have separate emails. They only had one person. So I need to make an account for everybody who is in a group so that you can watch the replays. Please let me know about that. But let's see. Ryan was saying, I learned to take heed when AJ mentions the importance of disabling USB selector suspend on my devices board. So that's what it was that killed your audio? Man, I'm glad you got it sorted out, sir. Anthony, ideas on enhancing the reach of my media. Also, I love the overall online experience of the conference. Excellent, excellent. I'm glad. It took us 3 iterations, but we improved our online experience. So maybe we'll stick with that format unless somebody else has an issue with that. And I might actually just even keep the theme and everything like that on the website and maybe do a little bit of enhancements, but I might just keep that one in there. But anyway, I'll still entertain y'all's questions or comments about the conference, but let's fire away with some questions that you got. Again, please start it with a Q so that way it jumps out to me easily. Dr. Christina, good afternoon. I was wondering how to have Italian Bible display on Prism Studio. I currently use First Fruits Doc, but it only offers English, French, and Spanish, but our congregation is Italian. What I would do in that scenario is not use First Fruits. Use something like Presenter, which is free, and I believe there is an Italian Bible that I have access to that you can get for $1 from my website. Let me see. Let me verify. Bibles. No, not that. Digital. Let's see. Bibles. Do I have an Italian one in here? I thought I did. But honestly, I would say another presentation software that can be linked into Prism Live with like window capture or something like that is how you can import it. And I can't recall it off the top of my head if I have any there. Just looking at it, I need to put a flag in here to say what language is which. No, that's Spanish. I don't recall. Which one I have that's in, if I have anyone that's in Italian. That's French. Yeah, but what I would say, if I find anything like that, I'll put it up here on the website if I find them. But the idea is you use Presenter or any other presentation software to capture that screen, and you can send that to Prism Live just like in any other program. That would be the easiest way. I don't believe First Fruits is going to do anything like that. But again, I don't make that software. I would probably email them and just ask if they're going to do something like that. And then that's what I would go for that. I am not aware if they're going to support that. So can't really address that. I can only give you suggestions outside of that that may work for you. Let's see. All right. I did that question. I don't see a lot of questions in here so far. I already answered it, but I know Timothy was asking, what's the most reliable HDMI to Cat6 converter on the market? Again, I have stood by Orod. Their stuff has worked rock solid for me. That's what I use for extenders. Looking at getting an HD-based-T extender to fix some of the issues. The lightning strikes have been bad here. So a couple of the cables that are going to the projectors in the ceiling in Antioch got kind of messed up. So looking at doing that. But I use them under my desk, all this other fun stuff. Very, very reliable. Let me see. Not seeing a lot today. Hollis was saying it was great to see the community meeting together. So yeah, it was great to put a face and shake hands with as many people as possible. That's the other thing. I am really disappointed in myself. I didn't get a chance to actually interact with everybody because I was running around. I would have loved to. I wanted to do a group picture at the end before everybody left, but I didn't get a chance to do that. That's what I was kind of bothered I didn't get a chance to do. But we did get a couple of folks pictures together here. What we got? We got a bunch of folks here. Me, Monty, Dominic, Reggie, and Terrence. We were able to get that right before we left out. So again, I really appreciate everybody coming out and stuff like that. So let's see. Tamara, love the online experience. Ideas on how to present to leadership about incorporating media ministry equipment into the church budget. Yeah, that's a great one as well. Again, just like y'all, I have to go back and watch the replays because I didn't get a chance to watch anything except for a couple of sessions I jumped in. Like I jumped in on Monty's at the end in the conference in where we took that picture. I was able to get on Pastor Paul's about how the rules of engagement, how to disciples digitally. I forget the name of the title, but I know it was rules of engagement. That one, I know I was sitting in on Pastor Thompson's and a bunch of other ones, but we had a bunch of other stuff that I honestly didn't get a chance to watch. So I'm watching through those as well too. I'm getting a lot of stuff. So one thing I would say for everybody that was in attendance online and in person, this is kind of what we closed out with. This is kind of your marching orders. A week has gone by. Don't let the stuff that you learn die on the vine. Put that stuff into place if you haven't. And other thing I would say, anybody else out there, while I'm still stalling for questions for y'all, is what other stuff have you implemented yet? Now, one thing, and I can't reach over to it. I'm in the process. I'm halfway finished doing the video for the GoStream Duet 8 ISO. It's actually sitting behind me. We also have another 4K AI PTZ camera from Persil. They sent this to me. I need to do a review of this. That is coming soon. I also need to do some stuff for AV cans here in a little bit. And we got a bunch of stuff. We're actually going to be down at Elm City next week because we're doing an install. We're picking back up on our installs. I believe this install number 17, nowhere close to the number of 50 I wanted to do. But we got some wonderful stuff here. That was in the video that I talked about. This is a dock, a Thunderbolt dock that has a Decklink Duo that we're adding to their Mac Mini. I actually have a review of this and setting this up. This actually does also work with a PC if it has USB 4.0. So I'm able to add a bunch of inputs. My computer in front of me doesn't have USB 4.0, but my laptop does. So we'll be doing that install. Then the week after that, we're going to be back in Chicago. We have 27 security cameras to do. 20 electronic door locks, 2 intercom systems, voice over IP, doing some wiring in the sanctuary. We're going to be up there for a week to try and get as much stuff done. And we also got contracted to do some work for the Elgin Museum. So we're going to be up there doing a bunch of fun stuff up there. And that is August 3rd through the 10th. I will be up there. Ty, the online experience was good. At times I felt disconnected either by technology or when transitioning between classes. Chat monitors would be nice to drive chatting. Yeah, exactly. That was the whole goal of saying having a dedicated media team for each classroom, so that just like again, everything that we do is mimicking the stuff that we encourage churches to do. So we talk about our e-ushers that are watching the comments and stuff. That's the same thing I want to have in place here so that the technology, the presenter doesn't have to worry about that. So somebody's running the slides or running the stream, getting the different cameras, engaging with the chat, all this other stuff. I would love to have that our next session as well. Hollis, is there an email list of attendees or a way for those who are willing to share emails? I have everybody's emails, but I did not get permission to share them. So unless people want to send the email and say that they're willing to share that, I personally am not going to give that out unless I get somebody's permission to do that. But I'll see. I might post something out and to everybody and ask in a blind CC email to everybody that was in attendance and go from there. Do you know of any resources that offer inexpensive PTZ cameras, belong to a very small church and trying to get a second camera to capture people's faces? Well, what's your budget? Because I know the AVCans E20 comes in at around like $320. That is the lowest cost PTZ I see. That is at great quality. That's actually that one right there that I have overhead. But I will see. Hollis, is there an OBS lower thirds for Mac? Did you do a video? Yes, I did, but I need to do another one. You can actually use, and we were going to use this for the conference, but we just didn't have to do it. And it was actually using Uno overlays. Uno overlays is, and I need to do another video about it, but Uno overlays is a web-based overlay that you can import into OBS, any version or any streaming stuff that has web-based stuff, and then you can link anything into it and it'll work. So like, for example, let me cut away real quick and let me log in. Saying my email doesn't work. Get out of here. All right. So inside of here, you can do a bunch of free ones that work fine, or you can pay for it, but you can do lower thirds in here and you can pick. So let me go to mine. So like these were the ones that I was planning on using. You can use a clock. You can use anything like that. So if I come into here, or whenever it will let me open it, there it goes. So inside of here, you can make any type of names and slots and stuff like that. So say you want to do this, and see, I can engage this. So this is what I used when I was doing this fitness thing. So I can come out here to copy the URL, and then let's open up OBS. And granted, I'm not on my Mac. My Mac is over here to the left, but again, it's web-based, so any of this will work. All right, OBS, come on and open up. There we go. So I'll turn this off real quick, but I could come in here and just add the URL that they give me for that given graphic, and then I'll make the width 1920, and then I'll reposition it. And see, there it does. It fires away like that. And you can set this up with a Stream Deck or anything like that to engage. So I can fire this off here. Let's go back. See, I can engage all this through a web interface, or you can have a URL that can control this as well too. So like if I have the control settings, I can copy that, and you can have this on a tablet. And that's just a tablet interface that you have it there. And then after you've made your layers, you can just go ahead and fire away in here, and it will change those and send that web page link over to that. And it looks like I have the exact same one here. I didn't make different ones, but you can fire that way, and that would work with Mac as well too. So the idea is you can just put this as a layer in OBS as a browser layer, and then you just have your tablet and you can kick it off anytime you want to. So that's Uno Overlays. There is a paid version, but I am using the free one, and it works great for you. Brian Jones, You mentioned needing an HDMI to Cat 6 splitter. I can send you the Ori if you need. Well, that's not me. It was somebody else that was asking. I actually have one that's still in my garage. That probably I don't remember. I think I might have the same model or the older one than that one, but I do have one there. But I think somebody in the group was asking about that. Creative for Fun was saying she loves Uno overlays. Really great tool, and it makes it really easy that anybody can use as well too. So let's see. Kind of light on questions today, folks. I will say I am, like I put it in there, I actually bought my ticket for Fantastic Four. I'm about to see that. And depending on how it goes, I might just go see Superman right after that. I haven't really done anything for moi in quite a while. So I am tired. Oh, and you know what? Not that she watches this at all. But today's my mom's birthday. So after this, I'm going to give her a call and stuff like that. And then I can actually talk about it a little bit now. Just want to thank all of those who gave sent me messages and everything like that with the passing of my cousin, David. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to attend. The funeral is coming up actually this Monday in San Diego. I wish I could have been able to get out there. I guess some other family is just now getting out there. But again, just want to give a thank you for that. My cousin David served in the Marines for 22 years. Then he was an officer out there in California, and then he had just some very, very unfortunate news happened with him and stuff like that. Actually, the case is still being investigated. And I'm going to stop talking about the rest of it right now. But again, I appreciate the thoughts, the prayers, the emails, all this other stuff like that. So thank you so much for that. Let's see. Got some more questions here. 85 Fame wants to know, what's a good portable projector screen? Well, it depends. What's the size of the projector that you're trying to do? Most of the time I have used, when I have done this, I had I like Elite screens, but they're expensive. And let me see. What I have done before is I've used something like this. I've used something like this for a size that makes it easy, or like the fold out ones. Where are they at? They had fold out ones that are like $30, and then like something like this, and then you have to have a mount or a wall or something like that to put it to, and that's the cheapest option. And then sometimes they can have like rods in there that can stiffen it out to make it straight and things like that. I've used a bunch of these. But again, it all depends on the size that you're using. So like this with legs and stuff like that, kind of like legs for lights and stuff like that, you could use something like this, and that's like about like $60, and I would give you a 100-inch one screen. But again, need to know the size and the location. You also got to be aware of the material so that it can give you a nice image based off of what you're using. Chris, have you ever had issues with power using all your AV at different churches? Yes, most of the time. Originally at Good Shepherd Baptist Church, when I installed the 2 digital walls, I brought to their attention that they needed to test if the stuff was on the same fuse or on the same circuit. And they actually did have an issue. When I cranked up both of those screens to 80% brightness, it tripped because it was pulling too much power. So when I installed one at 31st Street, they had an electrician specifically run a brand new circuit for that to avoid that. Just be mindful of when you start adding a whole lot of equipment, especially if it's an older church, you might need to invest in getting an electrician. If you have, I don't know what service that you have. Typically houses have a 200 amp circuit. You might want to add some more if possible, but especially if you have an older church, before you start looking at doing any massive amount of equipment like digital walls, bring an electrician in to see, do you have the space and the capacity to do that? I forgot the formula of what it calculates to find out. It's the same formula that you calculate if you're trying to do like home-based battery storage with solar. I don't remember the link that it calculates how much you're actually using, but you need to do something like that. Now, if you're just doing computers and things like that, that is not that draining. But if you are just using computers and cameras and it's tripping, you definitely need to get an electrician in there to check that stuff out. Also, Chris has, have you ever used a Bluetooth Dante on an analog board? Yes, I have. That is actually in my piano bag. Hold on 1 second. I am not sure what my Bluetooth adapter is that I normally use for choir rehearsal. It was an Alto, and I actually did a review of it. But yes, I've used that in multiple locations. I'm gonna have a review of that. It's like $40, but it will work because I mean it doesn't matter if it's analog or whatever, but it will work on any type of board. What cable to use to connect the DJI Mic Mini RX to a mixer? On mine, I have their adapter. Well, it's actually Rhodes adapter, which is an XLR to 3.5 millimeter. That's what I have on my mixer here, and that's what I use. And TRS or TS and line or mic. Cable to connect to a mixer. Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, it would be mic. It wouldn't be line because you're going to be setting the levels through the receiver. But this is how I connect mine. So this is the cable that actually was for my mic 1. And then I just have this adapter that I have from my Rode Wireless that you can get from Amazon. And it's XLR. And that works. So I'm just using the cable that actually came with it. It has 2 bands. I can't remember. Is that TRS? Yes, I think that's TRS, not TRRS or TRSS or whichever one. The one that has 3 bars on here, that's actually meant for microphone. It has a microphone level as well too. But this is what I use when I connect mine. Hope that helps you. All right, back to 855. I would say for that 100-inch, that $60 one here, I think would work good for you because that's going to give you that size. Now, again, I don't know if it's rear projection or not, but you can bounce between either one of these. And it looks like you shouldn't have to spend more than like $70, $75 for one that should work for you. So I'll send one of these, and this one actually comes with a stand as well too. I'll put the link for that in the chat, and at least I will point you in the direction of the one that I'm looking at that hopefully will help you. Projector screen. Alrighty. Sadly, I'm taking the cost on myself, so $300 is a little steep. Also, we currently have an older Sony camera that's hardwired, and it's controller, no IP option. Any IP camera sets? Well, the issue with an IP camera is you're not going to get the frame rate. So just like if you try to do like a security camera, Most of the time, the highest frame rate you're going to get is maybe 24. If you're lucky, maybe 30 frames a second. So it's going to look like a slideshow compared to your other ones. But I don't know. I will put that question out to the community. Anybody else got any questions or suggestions is the word I meant to say. Good morning, AJ and everyone. Progress report every day a little better. My theme song is Through the Fire. Hey, I am glad you're getting better. Appreciate it for checking in and taking the time to stop by here. Mike, another one of our presenters, taught on multi-camera live streaming. Man, Mike, I'm getting so much. You're getting a whole lot of accolades for your session, man. I really appreciate it. Mike has been with us for every session, every conference. Morning, everyone. I love the conference. Chris, you are welcome. Candace, come on now. Would you recommend an OC go duet over ATEM? Our ministry needs more inputs and outputs, and the ATEM mini extreme ISO may be too pricey for leadership. Well, I'll be honest with you. The one thing I will say, I'm knocking my fan over and everything. Hold on, let me grab this and let me show you one thing. And I'm gonna do this in my review as well too. Man, I am really, really, really out of shape, or I am more tired than I thought. Like just me getting up and doing that, I felt winded. So anyway, this is the Duet 8 ISO that I'm reviewing. Now, one thing is, you see it has 4 SDI inputs and 4 HDMI. I was under the impression that you can have 4 HDMI inputs and 4 SDI inputs. That is not correct. They are auto sensing. If you have something connected to SDI number 1 or HDMI number 1, they're the same. Only one of them is going to be used. If you have something plugged into SDI 1, then that becomes input number 1. If you have it plugged into HDMI number 1, then it becomes, you can't use both at the same time. So in theory, you're only going to be able to connect 4 items here. But the other inputs will allow you, inputs 5, 6, 7, and 8 will allow you to link NDI inputs over your network. So that is another option. So that's just one thing I did call out, because again, when I was reviewing this originally, because most of the time I don't take a deep dive into this stuff. I'm learning the same time that y'all are when I'm doing my videos. Some people say I should review it, but I want to have an authentic experience. If I come across something that doesn't work or I'm under the wrong impression, I want to show you that so that we're learning all at the same time. But that is what I found out, that you cannot use, it's not for HDMI and for SDI. It is either or. So I have a mixture of, in my video, I have 2 hooked up over SDI and 2 hooked up over HDMI. And I had a couple of computers and ProPresenter outputting NDI feeds, and that's what I had on the other one. So yes, it's a good option, but if you need more inputs, as of right now, if you need physical inputs, that's not for you. Just based off of what I'm gathering from what you said. Dean, what's your thoughts on the DJI situation with stuff getting banned? Honestly, I have been out of the loop. That thing has been talked about for so much. Personally, I think it's stupid, but it's old men yelling at clouds that don't know technology. That's my personal opinion. First off, if you make a rule about banning some of this equipment, if you're talking about drones and stuff like that, if you've never personally flown one, you shouldn't be making rules about one, because you don't even know if the people who are telling you information is legit or not. So right now it says the DJI drones are not currently banned in the U.S. A ban could take effect automatically at the end of 2025 if a national security agency doesn't complete a formal security review of DJI by that deadline. That's the last thing I heard from here. But that's what I personally think. I'm tired of having politicians or people in general. This also talks about church. People in leadership positions. Just because you're in leadership positions does not mean that you know everything about technology. Most of the time, you don't know jack squat. So you shouldn't be having an opinion and making rules for everybody else when you don't even know what you're talking about. Do you have a wireless mic suggestion that is powerful enough to capture individual testimonies in the crowd? Church looks a little smaller than Antioch Sanctuary. We have an A10 Mini. Honestly, no, not for a wireless. I would get a shotgun mic, but it all depends. Are you walking around and handing mics to people for them to talk? Or is it like a crowd where they're just going to be sitting in the pew and a mic needs to get them? If you're trying to do something like that, you need a shotgun to compensate for that. Otis, how you doing, man? I was looking for you. I was hoping to see you this week. I didn't know if anything came up, but it's good to hear from you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Chris, can you out in the chat the PTZ camera you mentioned earlier? Oh, the E20, sure. I will put that in the chat. Man, I am just feeling so drained. Like, I don't know, it just feels like energy is just falling out right now. And I don't know, and I'm just sitting here. Hold on. AV cans, PTZ. And it looks like the price has gone up. It's going for $380 right now, but that is the NDI version. The non-NDI version is going for $320. If you can find that, I don't know if they've sold out of them or they stopped doing it. That's what I would suggest. Maybe, but all I know is, man, the energy, man, I'm tired. I mean, just running. I'm like, my whole body was sore Saturday when I got home, when I woke up that morning. Francisco, if you want to know how to utilize multiple cameras for a live stream, I would highly suggest. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Mike did an excellent. Understood, sir. I hope you're doing well. Dean again. I think you spoke on this before, a low-cost version of the OBS bot VC adapter. I wanted to know if it would work on a webcam output. No, I looked at that when one of y'all brought it up, but I never had a chance to actually dive in and look at it. So I don't have any hands-on experience with it. The last time I saw one, it was like $300 and some odd. And personally, I would just get one of these mini $120 Windows PCs, and then just run OBS and use that. That would come out cheaper, to be quite honest. So like maybe something like one of these, because some of those adapters, they're talking about like $250, $300. You can get something like this that just runs OBS and you just push a webcam into here and then output it and then send it over. Which reminds me, I'm glad you said that because I have an OBS thing. I'm going to do this as a video, but I have one church that, First Baptist Church out in Hayes, Virginia. I did their install, and they had a unique situation where the back TV, they wanted to show the clock on the back TV. So let me see if I can find that image. So what we did is we have OBS installed, and we just outputted OBS to that back wall. And that's not the First Baptist I was looking for. Yeah, this is it. So this is First Baptist, and in this scenario, they have their ATEM and they have a back TV, and they wanted the back TV to actually be not a confidence monitor, but they want to show the sanctuary, but they also wanted to do a clock. So what I ended up doing in this scenario, now, one issue with doing this is, video can only be used by one program. So if you open up OBS, let me, hold on, I'm going too fast. Outputting from the ATEM to a splitter and going to the television will show the image, because the pulpit, anybody in the pulpit, the pastor, the choir wants to be able to see what the camera is seeing. That's easy. But they want to put a clock over top of this. So I ended up adding OBS into this scenario. And how am I going to do this? All right, so this is the OBS. This computer is running their presentation, but it's running OBS. So what we ended up doing is I put another card inside of here that would allow for another output from this computer. So it has 3 monitors. The monitor for operating it, the one that goes to the ATEM, and then another one that goes to the back TV. So we got that on input like number 2 or something like that. We run OBS. OBS picks up the feed from the ATEM and it sends it to the TV, and then we can add a clock overlay over top of this. So if I come out here and show you, so this is just a web page that we made, and let's go to open up Notepad, and let's open up that file. I want to open up clock. So this is just some HTML that just grabs a clock. That's all this is. Anybody can write that. You can go to ChatGPT and ask for it to get it to you, and it would generate that. And all that does is it adds a clock to the bottom. So if I turn that off, I'll put the clock in place. Come on now. Add the clock, and then it does this. It just adds this clock here at the bottom. So the problem with doing this is, so initially when they told me this, I asked them, are you planning on doing Zoom? And they said no. So in this scenario, all they do is open this up, right click on this, and say, I want to output this as a projector to one of my monitors. That's it. So when I come back out of here, oops, I think I did the wrong thing. Projector out. Yeah. So if I do it like this, as you can see, that's what shows up on the monitor. So that's what I had them do originally. But the problem with doing this is, this is going to add, let me add this because it's going to loop over like crazy. So you see, it's going to do this and put your clock, and they'll have their clock going down. But if I turn on the virtual camera, this with the clock is going to go to Zoom. So when they start using Zoom, Zoom is always going to have this clock at the bottom. So how do we avoid that? So what we have to do, and I believe this is, I can be wrong if this is always been here, but I didn't notice this. Instead of doing a screen here saying, hey, I want to just show all of this, like you would right click here and say, hey, output to the projector, like we would do, you can do that on the scene. So right here, I have a scene right here that does not have the clock on at all, but then this scene does. You can right click on the scene and send that to the projector. But then when I start the virtual camera will show whatever is here. So if I open up my camera app, right? Wrong app. Sorry. If I open up the camera, right, and I select my camera, which, not the NDI camera. I'm trying to get to the OBS camera. Come on now. Why is it doing this to me? Camera settings. I don't want NDI. Why is my OBS camera not showing? Anyway, I don't know why it's not showing. But if I zoom out here and see, it's now doing it. So hold on. Let me log into the camera so you can actually see. I need to stop it from auto tracking. See, my camera is going crazy right now. It's finding me and it's going all over the place. All right, so auto tracking is off. So let me get out the way. So what I have is, see, I'm outputting the scene to OBS that has the clock, but when virtual camera goes that will route out to Zoom, it doesn't have the clock. Again, that just reminds me of how complicated that was to try and show that to y'all. I need to do that as a video. But anyway, that's what I did with them. I don't know. Man, I'm out of it right now. I don't know what in the world's going on. MA16V3. If you use NDI inputs, get beefy switches. Most managed switches will work. Do not use. Thank you for that. Highly recommend that as well too. Anthony, can you use a regular laptop with the A10 Mini Pro for streaming, basically for OBS purposes? Yes, sir. Yes, you can. Done. How can I stop the flicker on the TV in the church? I need some more layout about what equipment, what do you have connected? How do you have it connected going to your TV to get a better understanding to answer that question? I'm glad you are enjoying it. David, yes, the all the videos are on the conference. I actually stopped people from buying more tickets. What I might do is, if y'all are interested, I can do a lower price. If you want to get access to the videos now, I'll turn that on to the page and maybe make it, I don't know, like $40 or something like that. And then you can get access to all the replays. If y'all want me to do that, I will. You would just go to 4ME conference and just keep updating it. If y'all want to do that, I will turn that on and set that up so that you can get access to that. But like I said, all the videos I'm probably going to drop on YouTube January 1st. A mom's video. Good morning, all. As I watched the live stream last Friday, to my surprise, my wife was very interested. She is considering us attending next year. It's usually around our anniversary. Well, that's the other thing. The conference next year is up for setting up an opinion on when it should be and all this other stuff. And actually, let me use this YouTube stuff, and I'll just make a new poll here. When should, well, I can't even do it like this. If you're a part of the Facebook group, I'm gonna actually put a poll up there to see when y'all want the dates to be, because I know DDT 26, that's daddy daughter trip for 2026, because me and my daughter go somewhere every year, making memories. We have our another trip because she loves her cruise so much. We're going on a 9-day. That is going to be June 13th through the 21st. So those dates are going to be out for me. So that's going to be like a 2.5 week window of time. I'm not going to do nothing, but I'm going to put a Facebook post up so we can get our dates. Cause again, I want to put that out as soon as possible. So we have plenty of time, for that. So be on the lookout for that on the Facebook page. If you're not a part of Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, and there you go. Let's see. Fresh Start Church of Philadelphia. Hey, AJ, the member that set up all of our AV systems at our church does almost the same thing that you do, but is thinking about starting a business because all of the churches we deal with come to him. Asking questions to assist in helping with their own equipment needs and technical assistance. How did you start your business. I started because a lot of people in the area, well, how I honestly got started originally is when um, Antioch hired me back to be a musician, and they were building the sanctuary that we had our conference in. And I asked if I could just walk around and see. The pastor let me see. And when I started seeing some of the equipment, I'm like, yo, I wasn't into AV. I dabbled with camcorders and I wanted to be a movie score writer at first, a band director, and then wanted to do special effects. But when I was in school, they didn't have a path to doing that. So I had to dabble and try and figure this stuff out with Sony Vegas. But anyway, I knew a little bit about tech. And when I walked in, I was just like, why the heck do y'all have these old projectors? And then they were like, well, they said that they were cutting edge. Well, guess what? They're lying to you. And it got to the point that Pastor Sales was like, AJ, we paid for all this other stuff. We can't do what we wanted to do because they realized that they were ripped off in what they were told because they didn't have no technical people. Go back to what I said at the beginning with the DJI stuff. You got people that have no knowledge about stuff making decisions, and you don't know if somebody is just, selling you some snake oil. He asked me, AJ, you're the most technical person I know. Can you figure out how to do this, this, and this so that we can put scripture up? We can do this and all this other stuff. So I took it upon myself to learn that. And when I figured that stuff out, and it was MacGyvering that thing together, other churches started coming. Like Gates of Faith was the second one, and they were talking to another company to do the same thing. And they were talking about to do one PTZ camera and live streaming. They said it was going to be $175,000. At the time, my sister and brother-in-law was starting to go to that church, and they said, you might want to talk to my brother. They came and did a tour of Antioch, and they said, we want exactly the same thing. We were able to install the exact same thing at Gates of Faith. One camera, the ATEM, television studio, all that stuff. We were able to, what other companies said it was going to cost $175,000, we did for $9,000. And then Pastor Taylor from Signs and Wonders, he came and visited the church and said, what was that? He reached out to me from there, rinse and repeat. And I'm going to say it, and she can get mad all day long, but it's the truth. At the time when I was married, I was recommended to go ahead and, I'm not going to be mean. I was recommended to start a company. I'll keep the other part out of it. I'll just leave it as that. So I started a company based off of that because so many people started asking, and then that way it would protect whatever I was doing. I was able to get insurance, and it just started from there. And then it was literally just a glorified, hey, we're hiring you as a contractor to do this work because we don't have the money to pay six figures for this stuff, and we are entrusting you to do it. That's where it started. Now that we've gotten bigger and we've gotten insurance, we got contractors, we got employees and all this other stuff, it literally started from there. So that's the short answer. Otis, you said you tried to log in from the hospital. Let me know, because I had a couple of people had issue, but I don't see. Yours was straight. Well, Otis, what I'm going to do, I mean, because I saw that your name was in here twice. That's strange. You should be fine. If you try and go back in there again, you should be fine. It was like a checkbox that needs to go in there, but you should be good now. I don't know what happened with that. But you should be able to see the replays now. Philip Paul, when I plug in the pen drive to the PC, it doesn't pop up the file folder like how other PCs does. Any way to activate that? That's a setting that you need to turn on, that you can turn on or turn off. Let me see. Trying to see where that menu is. Okay, here it is. So under settings, hold on. Under settings, and then you go to Bluetooth and devices. You come down here to autoplay, and here, check this off. Use autoplay on all media, and then that would pop up, and you'll get that menu that pops up to say whatever. That's all you would do with that. Hope that helps. Yeah. Created for fun. AJ, you were literally running around the conference. Yes. I'm sure you're very tired. Screen is kind of slow in the beginning, so you better wait for another day to see that one. Okay, I might take me and Ayana might go see it if it's decent. It's not just the physical energy. You also use considerable mental energy and emotional energy recharge, brother. Man, I'm trying to recharge, man. I don't know. I appreciate it. I really do. I really want to. Okay, I can officially announce it, Phyllis, because during the conference I got a call that I told Phyllis about. So I am in the process of moving, and for the last couple of months, I'm having a house built. So I don't know when the house is going to be officially done, but I have to be out of here by the 31st of next month. So just a sneak peek of what's going on. This is the house that I went and saw the other day. They are finishing up some stuff. So they got the outside. They're getting ready to start the painting and all this other stuff. So I actually have my own place. So I don't know when the move-in is going to be. That's what I'm waiting for. But during the conference, I got the official notice that I got approved for the loan and all this other stuff. So that was also on top of being nerve-wracking. What's going on with my cousin's death, the conference, my daughter, the house, moving, all of that was all lumped in together, but that's what's going on. So I am very thankful about all of that. So, I'm going to be doing, now I have my own space that I can actually, for all those people that wanted to be not the nicest of saying that my cable management was horrible, I will have a space that I can open up the walls and do all that stuff. All right. I've been playing around with a lot of stuff there. So I would take a deep dive with y'all so y'all can see how everything is going to go into place. What else I'll do? So like, for example, I'll show you, this is designed by Unify. So this is the first floor. This is probably going to be the office, kind of like where I'm at right now. We're going to be installing some cameras, access points, our PTZ, all that fun stuff. And again, we're going to be doing all of this. The server room is actually right here under the steps. And I've been going to the house when they didn't have drywall to try and find the place where cables are going to run. So we're going to have to run all these cables up the wall where the steps are all the way to the attic. And we'll be running cables in all of that place. Second floor, access point, phones, cameras. And then that's where the kitchen and the dining room. Third floor is my mainly my space, the bathrooms, closet, bedroom, all this other stuff like that. Access point, security cameras on the stairwell. Fourth floor is nothing but my daughter's space. So we're going to have a camera just to see everybody coming upstairs, but obviously nowhere near the bathrooms and stuff like that. We'll just be able to see if anybody comes upstairs. And then one of these rooms may be an office. This one is probably the bigger room. And actually, now that I realize that they put the laundry room on the wrong side. It's supposed to be on this side. Anyway, one of these might be an office if I don't want to have the stuff downstairs, but we're going to be doing all this other stuff. And again, like we always do with a church, we have it designed the same way. So the first floor, I'm actually going to be able to put these cameras and the cables and the walls and all this other fun stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Otis, we send vMix output video to via NDI into worship, Easy Worship 7 with display foldback and both counter and clock back. Man, I can't even speak. Where we at? Yes, yeah. Okay. David, give me by tomorrow morning, and if you go to 4meconference.com, I'll have some information for you to get that stuff. For the clock case, couldn't you have the clock on the second display screen and have it static to the clock? Are you saying that they wanted to see the service and yes, they wanted to see the service and the clock at the same time? So that's why I had to work it around that way. Done. Worship presenter feed out the PC and then split the 3 using the Aura splitter. Okay. Most likely. Now, are all the TVs the same exact one? Do they support the same image and resolution? How far away is the splitter? Is it an HDMI splitter or is it an HDMI to Ethernet splitter? If you're seeing the TV flicker and it's Ethernet, it's most likely it's too far away, the type of cables that you're using, or it could be that the resolution of the TVs. But let me know. Mike, I recently put in place the AVCAN's E20 and I can only set the frames to 25. Is that the max, or can I change the settings with a dip switch inside the camera? Well, now inside of the AVCANs, hold on, let me log in and share what mine overhead is doing. All right, so inside of here, they do support a higher frame rate. So from here, logging in the output, you should be able to get to 60 because I have the exact same one. This will let me do it. That's the frame rate for the HDMI or SDI going out. Now, there is another frame rate like down here. That is for the encoder. So that's like if you're trying to send video over the network like RTMP, RTSP, something like that. That's what that frame rate is. This is the frame rate coming out of a physical output. This is the network one. Hold on, wait a minute. I stand corrected. This is still the frame rate that comes out of the camera, HDMI, SDI. There was another one that does that setting. I mean, but you should, because I mean, mine is running at 60. But I just changed it to 60. Yeah, that's strange. You should, I mean, you should have all those frame rates as low as a 1. But 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 25, 30, 50, and 60. So you should be able to have that. Look and see if there's a firmware update. And I don't know what version that you have. So like right now, mine is on version 1.0.10, and I'm sure that probably needs to be updated. Phil was saying that time frame was great, good for school teachers to attend. So yeah, it would be around July, August, something like that. Best type of dates. But I will say it was by but not that it was by mistake. We didn't have a lot of online teachers, so we were able to put all the online teachers on Friday. What I am thinking about doing is having a shorter period of time. So instead of going from 8 to 8, it might be the first day is online. So it might be a mixed hybrid. So like people can come into town. So the on town stuff could be like on a Saturday, or it might be both days. I don't know. I am leaning towards online teachers would be one day, and then it'll be a shorter period of time from maybe like 9 to 3, and then have a meet and greet or something like that. Maybe bring in a band, a group, a comedian, do something for like a networking social at the evening so people can come if they want to or go back. Because I know we went long just so we can cram in as much information as possible to make it worthwhile to everybody. But I know some people were dragging. So I am thinking that maybe one day would be people can still teach in person, but we'll have an online component. That's what the teachers do. And then the next day we'll have another one. I want to have vendors there. I want them to do demonstrations of hardware. Anthony, maybe we could get you flown down here, and maybe we do some PC builds, and maybe have a clinic that people can register and be like, hey, we'll have all the parts for you, and they assemble their PC there. I wanted to do kind of like what Monty did, but I want to have a camera set up so people can professionally have their stuff recorded that they can use for their live stream. I mean, I had a bunch of stuff that I thought about as well too. Elder Rob, hello. Thank you again, sir, for teaching. Talking about church branding, biblical-based church branding. Benny, hey, AJ. When we connect church mixer aux out to the PC mic in, don't do that. Slot. We're getting a buzz. That would be the reason. Don't connect it to the mic in. Connect it to the line in on your computer, not the mic in. And the cable is a 6.35 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter long. How to reduce? Yeah, connect it to the line in, which is typically the blue input jack on the back of your computer, not the mic in. That's the same way like with this. The mic is hot. That's why you're getting that buzz. You could turn it down, but honestly, if you have a line in, a blue connector connected to that, and that buzz will go away. The man, the myth, the legend that you thought he was gone, but he's back around. Josh, good morning, sir. How you doing? Josh Apple. Oh my gosh, y'all are funny. Thank you. And thank you. All right, let's see. Where else we got? Thank y'all. Marcel, I'm running 2 Blackmagic Pocket cinema cameras. One is dark and the other is light. How do I set the camera to be the exact same image? Honestly, the easier way to do it is connect it to an ATEM if you have one. And kind of like mine, I don't have my other cinema camera hooked up. It's actually in a box right there and then on the steps. But the easiest way for me to do that is if you have an ATEM, you can go in here and you can match the colors in here. That's what I did when I had my pocket cinema camera, my I don't even remember the name of the camera. The one that was on the tripod that I had, and then this is a micro cinema camera, 2nd gen, and I had another one. That's what I had all my cameras originally, and I was able to go in here and dial them in to match my colors live. I don't know if you have an ATEM. That would be the easier thing to do. But what are they connected to? Let me know. Yeah, it is. I still got to, I got my internet getting shut off here. Got power shut off. I need to call the city to get them to turn the water and gas off in a certain day. It was a pain to get my couch here, and to get movers to move my couch cost the exact same amount for me to buy brand new couches. So I think I'm gonna gut the couch upstairs and just throw it away because these steps are too narrow, and I couldn't get the couch upstairs, so I had to pay them extra off the books from the furniture company to lift the stuff up and bring it through the balcony. They normally would not do that. So I would have to do the same thing to get the couch down. And I really don't want to do that. I'd rather push it out the window and let it just fall on the ground and bust apart. Because if it's $1,000 just for them to move it, and it's $1,000 to get it brand new, to move it deliver it into the house and take it up the stairs and do all that, and they cover if they ding up the walls, I'd rather do that. Again, thank you. Philip Paul, do you put a Wi-Fi switch on all your church equipment? It depends. If it's in remote places, high up in the wall and stuff like that can't be reached, yes. Most of the time, I have everything going into a pile, regular switch. There's a massive on and off button. So hold on, let me see if I can lift it up. All right, so like this is the networking switch as well as the control for the church that we're installing next week. So right there is just the on and off button that they would do to turn on the cameras and everything like that. Yeah, I wish I had my other stuff set up, but like I said, I'm actually, hold on. No, I can't do that. Actually, hold on. All right, hopefully y'all can hear me now. I can't hear me, but hold on, let me verify my sound real quick. Okay, I can hear me. Alrighty, so, come on now. All right, so what I was saying is normally, and I got this upside down. All right, there we go. So normally what I have is this is the switch, and this is what they would turn on. They just hit that, and that would turn everything on. This, the UDM Pro, the switch, and all that, that's going to be plugged separately. I got a different surge that's going for this, but since this is going to be in a room, a dedicated media room, all they had to do is reach over and just flip the switch, and that's what turned on. Now, when I'm in different scenarios, when there are other people who are, like, again, you got a switch that's in the front of the church, the media booth is in the back, that's when I use smart switches, but I don't do that for every setup. So let me move this so I can get back to my desk. All right, I think that's fine. Let me get this out of the way. Oh my gosh, my gosh. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. It's not a church, but I was yeah, look, we trying. Thank you. All right, so it was saying you said over Ethernet. That's what I would check. What type of Ethernet cable? Can you confirm it is Cat 6, and how far away is it? Hey, you know I'm gonna invite some folks now when everything is done. Thank you, thank you. Victor, hey man, I'm an AV engineer in California. Sweet. If you have any enterprise installation dreams, it would be an honor to collaborate. Hey, send me an email. So we can connect, but I'd love to. And then you're saying enterprise AV is starting to get more involved, and the current integrator formats are missing new technologies. Yeah, I'm noticing that with a lot of folks here as well too. Elder Rob, anyone have issues with ProPresenter version 19? Someone updated the software last night before service, and now the program intermittently locks up. and we have to force quit. And somebody says that ProPresenter doesn't crash on the Mac. I'm gonna leave that one alone. No, I haven't experienced that. I am currently running. I'm actually running that version. I'm running version on Windows. I'm running version 19, 31, 87, 67, 159, the exact same version. And I haven't had mine crap out on me. But anybody else, that's the beauty of the community. You're able to ask multiple people. I am not familiar with that. Let me see. Oh, that protocol. I haven't messed with it. And I know some people ask me about it. Depending on the infrastructure that I put in place at my house, and we pay off bills and we don't get ourselves in debt, I am looking at putting all the cameras that I have to move and stuff like that. I am looking at wiring up the house so that I can have cameras everywhere. And if I can do everything over IP and I just run an Ethernet instead of having SDI and HDMI, I might look into that. And I want to get a dedicated switch that just stays in a rack somewhere, but I'll see. All right, so you said, yeah, your cameras are to the ATEM. Honestly, the easier way is to do that through, make sure you have the latest software version, the ATEM software version, and you should be able to do all that color correction and matching in the ATEM. That would be the easiest way to sync everything up. I don't think I can have kids anymore after moving my couch upstairs. Yeah. Program alert. I found this program called Base 44, and it allowed me to create a web-based church app for Children's Church for checking in. Oh, see, man, I was looking for something to do a check-in. That's the other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to have QR codes when people make the registration and have their badge, have that in there, and it scans in. I wanted to do that. Awesome, sir. I'm going to bookmark that because it's a bunch of things that I wanted to make as well, too. Thank you for that. Brother Art, Phoenix, Arizona. Hello, hello. Man. But yeah, folks, I mean, that's what I'm excited about. We got a bunch of other things going, as you can see, and I should have left the camera hooked up. Let me actually do that. I think it's still hooked up. So, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff. Why is my camera acting up? Come on now. Whatever. All right, so as you can see, we got a lot of stuff that we're packing up. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got my other anchor back, so yay for my battery backup. But we are slowly packing up everything. Those are all my other cameras, a lot of stuff from the conference that I just left, and I have the bare essentials here. We got some tubs. All of this stuff is getting cleaned up. So we are going to be in a process of getting all this stuff straight. And where's my lens? So that's what we have going on. Let me go back and sit down. I'm tired. Hold on. But yeah, that's what we got going on here. Like I said, I have to do my review for the OC Go. I'm going to try and finish that tonight, as well as the Persil camera. I'll do that. I got to do a couple of other things. I'm going to make a dedicated video for the OBS stuff that I just showed as well. Let me do 2 last things, and then we're going to be up and out of here. I'd be curious what resolution, if any, can be sent over just a standard gig. Honestly, unless you have pure, in my practice, 125 feet at 1080p, 60 frames a second, only worked for me, and that was me using pure copper, not copper and aluminum clad Cat 6 cable. Anything more than 125 feet with multiple brands of HDMI to Ethernet adapters, I always had an issue. That's why I started moving to SDI and then moved to fiber optic HDMI. But maybe the 2110 might be something else. Oh, and you were saying you were wondering for that. I think that also is recommended they do that on 10 gigabit connections as well too. I was looking at that for the conference as well too, but I didn't like the price that they were charging for it. But I think that's about it, folks. I want to give a big thank you for all my Patreon and YouTube members. They made this conference possible. They made all of this possible. I just want to give a big shout out. So if you like what we're doing, folks, and you want to help, you can always go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. You can get started for as low as $1.50 a month, which reminds me, I'm probably going to let the videos come out early for our Patreon and YouTube members. I might do that so that y'all have access to them. But then, or if you don't want to become a patron, you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. I think that starts at like $3 a month because that's the lowest they let me set it to. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train at media ministries all over the world. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And I'm pressing the wrong button to go back to here. But again, folks, I said it at the conference, and I say it to y'all again. Thank you for everything that you're doing. If it wasn't for people that have an interest in what you're doing, I have no idea where most of our ministries would be. They would probably get ripped off by a bunch of bad actors trying to sell a whole bunch of dreams at high prices. That is the reason why I don't highly promote super high price stuff, because I understand what it's like to have a shoestring bubblegum budget and you need to accomplish stuff. So that's what we focus on. And I just want to thank you for your interest. I thank you for your dedication, your long suffering. I understand how this stuff could be frustrating. Lean towards the community. That's what the conference was for. We had a lot of people that networked online and in person, and that's what it's about. For us leaning on each other to get the mission accomplished instead of us trying to do it all by ourselves. So I appreciate all the stuff that you're doing. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. I'm going to go see Fantastic Four. Then I'm going to hopefully go and pass out and go to sleep and then catch up on all this other stuff. So I think that's about it, folks. You have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll be seeing you in the next video, folks. Later.